Good morning. How are you diddling? Welcome to the weekend. Have you had a good week? Excellent. Me too. Thank you very much for asking. For those of you who don't know, I am Simon Scholes. This is Dazed, Confused and Generally Buggered. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios, this place here. We're an award-winning visual marketing agency, and we help brands and businesses create content that really helps them stand out on their social media. But along with that, I want to try and help you, especially during the current climate, start creating content that you can do yourself for free, rather than coming to an agency like us and spending money that you may or may not have. Why don't you start creating some content and seeing how powerful that content could actually be for your brand? Because you can really take your brand to the next level. You can go from being known locally to being known nationally just by being consistent with your social media and your marketing presence. But you've got to put in the hard work. So we're going to be talking about on different videos, lots of different subject matters. We've spoken about Instagram, Pinterest, all sorts of stuff, YouTube. Today, we're going to be covering another aspect of blogging. And what I'm going to do today is talk a little bit about the SEO of your blogs, what kind of stuff you could do yourself without having to go to an SEO expert. Now, you will get to a certain point where actually speaking to an SEO expert who will help you on your website and will help search engine optimize things like your blogs and all that kind of stuff is actually imperative. But at the start, again, when you don't necessarily have the budget, what you want to be doing is creating content, and I want to help you get on that content journey. So why not try and at least get your content out to as many people as humanly possible? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to do a little bit about blog SEO. Also, the platform, as always, is open for you to ask your questions about any social media channel, about any type of video content. Get in touch, drop me a comment, ask your questions. We'll do our best to answer as many of them as we possibly can do live. And if you can't get your question in live and you're watching this on replay, feel free to still ask your questions and we'll do our best to answer them after the event, maybe even on tomorrow's live video, because we're going live every single day at 11-ish. The reason it's ish is because I have a toddler. When he's napping, then I can go live. And because my wife is an NHS key worker, so she's working while I'm working, but with him. And then when he's not around, when he's asleep, then I'm working on my work. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so thanks for joining us this morning. If you are here, let me know that you're there. Drop a comment into the platform that you're watching on. We are live currently on Twitch. We're live on Periscope, which is also Twitter. We're live on YouTube right now. We're live on Facebook, How to 9 Times Your Social Media group, and we're live on the Perception Studios group as well on Facebook. So we're live in plenty of places for you to actually capture this content. And also, if you're not part of the How to 9 Times Your Social Media group yet, go check it out. It's there. That's where you need to be typing in onto the search bar, how to 9x your social media. You go there, and actually the very top link on that group is my book, my former #1 book, absolutely free, will not cost you a penny. You can download it right now, get started on your content creation journey. It takes you through the whole process I take my customers, my clients through when we get started on creating social media. When we come into Perception Studios, it's something completely different. But the stuff that I do with my customers, the coaching that I do with social media, the free advice I give away is all in that book. It's very generic, so you need to make it specific to your business and your brand, but it will give you an overview of exactly what kind of content you could be creating for your brand, for your business, and all that kind of stuff. And don't forget as well, if you are on social media and you're talking about this content or sharing it with anybody else, make sure that you use the hashtag that I like to use, which is how to 9 times your social media, how to 9x your social media. Get more people watching the live content, get more people coming to get the value from the content that I put out every single day. And then hopefully, when we get to the end of this craziness, because there will become an end, we don't know when it's going to be, but there will be an end at some point or another. When we get there, more of the smaller businesses will still be around because they'll have a brand, they'll be able to sell during this hard period of time. And don't forget, there are still businesses out there spending money. I am in a very fortunate position where I am getting new clients. I'm having to reach out to people and ask for the work, but the money is out there to be spent because people still need the service I'm providing, and people might still need your service as well. So don't forget that you can still sell. Even in these really difficult times, you can still ask people to part with cash if what you're giving is of enough value to them right now. Okay. Right. So as always, platforms are open for your questions. Please feel free to drop them in there about anything on social media or on video. We're going to talk this morning, like I say, about blog SEO, which is it's a difficult subject. A lot of people get scared when they hear the words SEO mentioned, and it's with a good reason as well, because it is a bit of a voodoo science, really. It is a bit of a science. You do need a serious skill set to get SEO right for a brand and for a business's website and that kind of stuff. But there are things that you can do yourself on all different platforms to try and help the SEO of your content so that it actually reaches a wider audience. What I want to talk to you about today is blogs and what you can do on blogs. I'm going to give you, I'm going to go through the tips I put into my book, basically. So I'm going to give you 8 tips that I put into my blog, into my book, which, like I say, you can download, and then you can go and have a read of those if you want to as well. But this is what we're going to talk about this morning. Good morning, by the way, to Chris, who's listening as he walks his dog today. And it is a glorious day for walking the dog. I took Max out for a walk, but he's been up since 5:30. So, yeah, he was knackered. We walked for about 10 minutes, and then the rest of the time was me pushing him in a pram. So that made life very, very easy. And then we came home and he fell asleep on a bottle of milk. So, yeah, job is a good one. So, yeah, we're going to talk about blog SEO this morning. So the first thing I want you to look at when you're putting together your blog SEO, when you're putting together your blog, is to focus on 1 or 2 long tail keywords that kind of really match the intent of your ideal audience. So, for example, the ideal audience for me when I'm talking about helping people with social media content are coaches, specifically mindset or lifestyle coaches, that kind of stuff. So all my content is generally aimed towards trying to help them take their brand from being local to being national. But the content that I create can help any brand, can help any business, because it is very generic, the value that I'm giving. But they're my kind of aim. They're my main ideal client. They're the ones I want to aim at. They're my avatar. Who is your avatar? Once you know who your avatar is, that's when you can start looking at what kind of long tail keywords you can put together that will attract them into your content, that will help them come into your content. Now, for those of you who don't know what a long tail keyword is, it's basically those 3 or 4 keyword phrases that are really likely and very, very specific to your audience. So they're for the people who are likely to search for something but know exactly what they're wanting to search for. So, for example, as a video company in Newbury, if somebody is searching for that, then they will type in social media video company Newbury. That's very specific. So you want to be using those keywords within your content, within the blog itself. So it would be, thanks for reading the blog. I'm Simon from Perception Studios, a social media video company based in Newbury, Berkshire, and we help brands and businesses create blah, 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 blah. So that would be how you would tie a keyword into your content, but it becomes very niche, very, very succinct, but very specific to your audience. So that is tip number 1. Long tail keywords, make good use of them. Number 2 is, well, I've kind of just mentioned it, is not to forget bringing those keywords into your blog, and more than once would be brilliant as well. So whatever your main keywords are, whether they're long tail keywords or short tail keywords, which is obviously a shorter version of a long search, then make sure they're within your blog. Make sure, if you can use them more than once. I mean, if your long-term phrase is quite a wordy thing, you might not be able to use it more than once. But if you can, get it in there. Use it more than once. Not shoehorn it in. No, I'm not just saying like, okay, for the hell of it, drop in that long phrase that you've used over and over again. Don't just shoehorn it into your content. It's just going to really stick out like a sore thumb and look shit. But you can use the keyword phrases more than once. You can use your short-term key phrases more than once on your content, and just try and get them in there. If the short ones especially, maybe use them way more than once, use them multiple times, especially if it's like a single keyword that you're using to try and help people find your content. Okay, the next one is make sure your blog is mobile friendly, which kind of goes without saying. It also means your website needs to be mobile friendly, because the first place you really want to put your blog is on your website. If you don't have a website yet, then find something like LinkedIn, whatever, like Medium, Tumblr. Those kind of places can be where you can put your blog. But if you have a website and you have a blog, make sure that your blog is mobile friendly, because the fact of the matter is people are consuming content on this. Very little do people consume content on one of these things that I'm filming on right now, a desktop, and even less likely on a laptop. They do it, but not as much as they do with this, because this, you can take it with you anywhere and use it straight away. So when the adverts come on the TV and you pop to the toilet, what's the first thing you grab to take with you? This. When you are making some dinner and it's cooking away, but you don't need to do anything, what do you grab? You grab this. When the adverts do pop onto the TV and you don't need to go to the toilet and you don't need a cup of coffee, what do? You grab this. So less and less people are watching the adverts, and more people are spending the time on here. And so you need to make sure, if somebody's sat reading your blog and then they're going back to a TV program and they're coming back to your blog, that the blog is mobile friendly. So the words aren't bleeding over the edge and they're not having to scroll left and right. They can just scroll up and down, read your blog. The photographs on there are friendly to the mobile site. So they actually load for a start, that they actually fit in the screen. They don't bleed over the edges again, so they can't see the whole image. That kind of thing is really important and can put people off wanting to read your content. So make sure your blog is 100% mobile friendly. The next thing is optimize your meta description. Now, on WordPress, I think it's called meta description, but most blogging sites, whatever the blogging site it is, have that opportunity for you to put in metadata. So a bit like you do with YouTube videos, a bit like you can do with a podcast, a bit like you can do with content when you upload videos onto Facebook and places like that, you can put in tags, keywords that will draw people back to your content. It's another way of helping people search for something, and Google actually taking that and going, that content is connected to that keyword and that person is looking for that. So I will tie them together and point them in that direction. So it's a great way of doing that kind of thing, helping increase your search engine optimization, your SEO. But if you don't use the meta description in any way, shape, or form, if you don't put any tags into your blog content, then the chances are that, yet again, your content will get overlooked. And also, don't use the same keywords, the same tags every single time. Have some specific ones that you use on a regular basis, and then obviously change others up to fit with the content you're writing. Not every piece of content is exactly the same. So even if all you do is sell verbatim flash drives, that's all you do, that's the only thing you sell, and you only sell this one, you can still make lots of other content around that particular drive. How big the drive is, how fast the drive is, what kind of stuff the hard drive can do, how it fits into the computer, why it's better than going for something else, why it's better than going for that. Maybe so all that content is still different. So you tie that content back into the tags. So your tags can be different, as well as one or two being exactly the same. Good morning to Miles, who's just joined us on Facebook. If you are watching on any platform at all, feel free to say hello, whether that's on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, wherever you are, say hello, give us a thumbs up as well, and just drop us a comment and ask any questions as well. If you've got any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask them, all on social media and video preferably. Anything else, and I might just skip it. Okay, so the next tip on blogging is I want you to optimize your meta description for the blog. I've done about that. Okay, yes, next one. Photos. So important. We live in a visual society, so make sure that you're using photos within your blogs. Good morning to Michael, who's just tuned in, using my old tagline, morning. Anyway, so yeah, photos in your blogs, so important. This is a good one for you, Mike, as well, being a photographer. So if you're going to write any content, any case studies about projects that you've written on, putting your photos into that blog is essential. Number one, obviously, because you're a photographer and people want to see your content, but also it draws people through the content. It helps them through their journey, because just a big page of text gets a bit boring. You just, oh God, I don't really want to have to read 3,000 words. That's just going to bore the crap out of me. Some images in there, breaks it up a little bit. Still is a long blog, but there's a good chance that they might work their way through it. So make sure you put in images into your content. The next thing is to make sure that you're using the metadata on the images. So you have metadata on the blog, you have your keywords, but also behind the images, you can put in what's called different attributes. You can use different metadata on those photographs so that they actually will help you get your content out even further. So not only will Google look at the SEO of the metadata of the main blog itself, it'll look at the SEO and the data behind the photograph. And if somebody is searching for something in specifically, so for example, Mike, you might have taken a photograph of a big wheel at a fair in Folkestone. So you then would put that metadata behind the image, so Folkestone big wheel, and then when people search that on Google, that image could pop up and then draw people back into the blog content where they see more of your images and go, oh my God, this guy's a great photographer. We're going to hire him for X, Y, and Z. But if you hadn't put those attributes, that metadata behind the photograph on your blog in the first place, they would have never found it. So it's finding a way of trying to make life easier for that potential audience, that potential client, to find your content. So Mike is asking, would you recommend anything other than WordPress? I genuinely hate the platform, preferably free. No, I kind of wouldn't. WordPress is probably one of the best in the world for blogging. I mean, I know all the Wix and people like that, they still all have blogs built into them, but they're not free. You do have to pay to make it specifically your own. Even WordPress, you'd have to pay to do that, but you could have a WordPress page for nothing. And then when you're making some money, then maybe get a website specifically built. But I would just start getting your content out there, and I would definitely recommend doing stuff that basically will get your name out there. And people aren't going to know about getting your name out there unless you're getting your name out there. If you're not communicating, nobody can hear what it is you've got to say. So Mike is saying, want to hire me? You saw my photo. You know, I'm in Folkestone, but willing to relocate. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, absolutely. And just get cracking with it. And you might hate WordPress, but I know a lot of people who hate Facebook, and I know a lot of people who hate YouTube and Twitter and social media in general, but your business doesn't. You have to take your own feelings out of the equation, because technology doesn't give a shit about you. It will keep moving forward, it will keep progressing, and people will keep consuming it, whether you like a platform or not. So it's better that your business and your brand is on that platform, because technology is going to keep evolving. People are going to keep consuming that content. You're not going to be on there. They're going to be consuming your competitors. Your competitors are going to keep growing, and your brand is just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, because you're hoping that that print that you stuck on a wall in a coffee shop is the thing that's going to get you loads and loads of business. That's not how the world works these days. I'm sorry, but it's not. You need to do all of those things. You need to have the print in the coffee shop. You need to have your own gallery on your website. You need to have an Instagram page. You need to have Pinterest page. You need to have a blog. You need to be putting content out there and to help remove that friction for people to be able to consume what it is that you've got to say and the value that you've got to give. So Mike, get blogging, use the WordPress site. You might hate it, but it doesn't hate you. So you just got to get over yourself, 100%. All right, moving on to the next question, the next tip, because we've covered photos, is link internally to other content on your website. This is quite an interesting one, because a lot of people will write a blog, people will read it, but then they'll still bounce off their website. So when I say bounce, is like somebody will come on, stay on one page, and then leave the website. They won't go anywhere else on the website because they've got the content, they've read the value that you've got to give, but it's not really drawing them anywhere else. So ways around that are drawing people to other content on your website that might tie back into what it is you're talking about. So again, if you're writing about the verbatim little flash drive that you've got, and you're writing about how big it is in its capacity for storage, then you would say, and I also wrote a drive about how you can access that storage really quickly due to the speed of the flash drive. go and read the blog here. And then you would link that blog back within your own blog. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Basically, link back to other content on your website. If you are trying to draw people into a funnel at the end of your content, and not necessarily the best thing to do, but if you are, and you're like, okay, if you want more information about what I do, then please feel free to sign up to my newsletter, and then put the newsletter link within your website. It just helps people be less lazy. Humans are just inherently lazy. We are the most lazy, stupid breed on the planet, pretty much. And so you need to make life easy for your potential customer, your potential audience. So make that easy for them by putting those links into your content so they can go click and they're there. They don't have to go searching for anything else. They just go click and they're at the next piece of content that they're interested in reading, and then click and they're at the newsletter page where they can sign up. Make life easy. Morning, Simon. Hope you're having a good weekend. It is Saturday, right? It is indeed. I had a message off my friend earlier on saying it's Saturday. Not that that makes any difference. So absolutely. Oh, hello to Track's creator as well. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. He says ciao. He's sat watching on, or she, I don't know. Are you he or a she? Sat watching on Twitch at the moment. So thank you very much for joining us. So yeah, anyway, where was I? So we're talking about blog tips and helping you get your blog out to a wider audience. So yeah, link internally to content. And then the final tip is link externally as well. So if you are using other people's stats or using information from anybody else or little quotes from anybody else, make sure in your blog you are linking back to that content, a backlink. You'll have heard about them. Most people will never have done them, but you will have definitely heard about backlinks at some point or another. So make sure you're backlinking content, even if actually it's your own content that you're backlinking. So maybe putting a video from YouTube into your content that is essentially a backlink to YouTube, or a backlink to an Instagram post, anything like that. Those are also backlinks because they're to an external website, to your blog post. So make sure you do that, especially also because of plagiarism. You don't want to be accused of that. So make sure you backlink to content, or at least say whose content it is. But stats, quotes, anything like that, just backlink to the original content. It'll really help your content do better and their content as well. And also when you're tweeting your blog out, then you can say, wrote a great blog about the speed of the verbatim flash drive designed by Bob Verbatim. And then you could tag Bob Verbatim into your content on Facebook or onto Twitter or anywhere else that you're putting it. And then hopefully he'll see it and then go, that's really cool. I've got a much bigger audience than this person, but I love the piece that they've written, or I love the little video they've made. I'm going to share it with my audience, and so on and so forth. And that's how you end up going viral, by a form of collaboration without actually having to collaborate in any way, shape or form. You've made it, again, easy for the person who has enjoyed your content, but you've collaborated with them by using their stats or using their information, popping their name into your content, and they go, thumbs up, I love this, share. And they share it with their audience. So don't miss out on that opportunity of doing that. Let's have a quick look at some of the questions that are popping in, and then we'll finish off on blogs. Ed McIntyre has joined us. He said, YouTube is great for what you just mentioned. At the end of the video, you can leave a subscribe button and a next video button on it as well. Absolutely. It's something that I tend not to do, mainly because I'm lazy, and I know I should do it, and it's another tool that YouTube give you the usage of, and it's a really ideal one. The main thing I would say, though, is just having those buttons there alone is probably not enough. Again, people are lazy. Humans are inherently lazy. So point them, signpost them to those particular things. You get to the end of the video. Don't forget, at the end of the video today, you will see my face pop up. Click on that and you can subscribe so you don't miss out on any more content. And also, if you want to watch more of my content, the next video that's available to you will also pop up. Click on that and it'll take you to it straight away. Something like that. Signpost them to it. Make it easy for people. They are lazy. They are stupid. Treat them that way. Not everybody is stupid. Not everybody is lazy. But if you treat the majority like they are, then you're going to help your own audience grow by encouraging people to subscribe, encouraging people to watch the next video, and so on and so forth. Let's have a look at this. YouTube also has video tags that pop up at the top of the video, which is great. Yes, so when you're watching a YouTube video, and you can actually put in little, they're called cards, and basically what they do is they pop up in this corner here, and when you click on it, it does a little drop down, and you can put cards in that hit at different times of the video. So if you are doing a video about a piece of content, like Ed says, and you want to tie it back into another piece of content you've created video-wise, then you can actually signpost people to that piece of content by, again, saying, oh, and by the way, I did do a video about that. Go and check it out. It's in the top left-hand corner right now. Wait till you finish this video and then go give it a click. And again, you're signposting people to content that they can go and consume about the same subject matter that they're watching in the first place. Let's have a quick look at the other comments. Mike, I found I got a huge increase in views on YouTube by using lots of keywords, not only in the tags, but in the video description. 100%. For example, if it features toys, use words such as play, kids play, toys, the toys are fun, etc. Gets into the suggested videos, thus getting more views. 100%. And it's very much what I was chatting about the other day with Alan Spicer. Mike, you will have loved that piece of content, knowing that you like YouTube. Definitely go and check it out. It was on Wednesday. I'm breaking it down into smaller bite-sized pieces if you don't want to watch it all, but it's a 56-minute value fest all about YouTube and stuff that you can do to really help your audience consume your content, but also get new people consuming your content. There's some tips in there I had no idea about until now. Absolutely well worth checking it out. Like I say, it's 56 minutes long, so either make a very big cup of coffee or set the playlist going when I've finished off doing the playlist in a couple of days' time, and you can watch all the videos one after the other, just answering each of the questions that come up in the video. But yeah, so much value in there. Anyway, shall we finish off about blogs right now then? And going back to the blog stuff that I was saying, so this is an important one for me because it kind of moves into the next stage of how to 9 times your social media. Point number 8, my final point and my final tip on blogging is when you're writing your blog, try to write 3 or 4 or potentially slightly more points that will really draw your audience into the information that you're giving them. So real bullet point moments within your blog. Put those into your blog because they're going to really help you as you move forward into making your content work harder for you. So it could be one after the other, or they could be completely separate and all the way through, but just make sure you've got these bullet point moments. I'm not saying necessarily drop a bullet point into your blog, but just a small 3 or 4 lines, a small paragraph of content that's really going to stand out for the audience. Anything that could be quite poignant. So for example, in one of my blogs in the past, I wrote the lines, social media is like a room full of people shouting, but how creatively are you shouting is how well you stand out. That was my poignant moment within that blog. And then I had a few others that were in there. So then when it came to repurposing that content, repurposing that blog, I was able to call on that bullet point to really help me repurpose content. The reason being is that when you do a blog, then I suggest you start doing a video. And once you've done a video on the blog, those points will really help you tell your story as you're speaking to the camera. So that's why I suggest these go into your blogs. So 3 or 4 really key points that will really stand out, almost like their mission statement pieces that you're putting into your blog that will really help that content stand out and also help you when it comes to creating more content in the near future when you're repurposing that blog into something else. Okay, we are done on blogs. We are done on my blog tips. They were a little bit all over the place because of the questions that were coming in, but that's fine and dandy. That doesn't matter. That's what this is all about. So yeah, absolutely. There's my 8 points on blogs. If you want to read them, and have more of a chance to digest them, just go and join my group, How to 9 Times Your Social Media, How to 9X Your Social Media. It's a free group. You just go and join that. Type that into the YouTube search bar, into the Facebook search bar, sorry. Go join the group. And then the very top link in the group is my book, and it's absolutely free, will not cost you a penny. You need to fill in some details. Then you say yes or no as to whether you want to hear from me ever again. You don't have to hear from the dodgy northerner ever again, or you can say, yes, I do, and then you'll get my newsletter. But you don't have to. You can still have the book absolutely free. I don't care. You don't have to get my newsletter, but feel free to sign up to it if you really want to, and you will keep getting value. You keep getting content all the time, but you'll still get the free book even if you don't want it, and that will give you loads of value and loads of content to help you on your content creation journey. Okay, that's 30 minutes. I think that's enough of me blabbing on a Saturday. It's a beautiful day outside, so why don't you go and do some exercise, do your hours exercise right now, go and enjoy the sunshine. I've got to stay inside because he's asleep, but we've been out anyway, so I'm going to go sit on the sofa and chill out. Actually, no, I'm not. That's a lie. I'm going to sit here and edit the content out of the Instagram video I did the other day. So I have a playlist of those videos to put out as well. Anyway, thanks ever so much for listening or watching, whatever you're doing to consume this content. I will catch you tomorrow, 11 o'clock. We're daily doing these. And we'll talk about something else. A very last quick check on the comments. Great tip from Chris. A great tip about linking to other articles on your own website. I should be doing that this afternoon. Good man. It really will make a difference because it just keeps them on there. You want people to stay on your website, just like Facebook want people to stay on their website. So don't link externally to content from their website. You want people to stay on your website, so make it easy for them to stay on your website. 100% do it. You should hopefully see a difference. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. Anyway, right, I will catch you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Saturday. Stay safe and stay healthy. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.